Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to another edition of Wildcat Weekly with head coach Sean Miller. Cats will be in the Bay Area this week, Wednesday to face the Bears, and then Saturday against the Cardinal at Stanford. Cats coming off a home sweep over the Oregon schools. Kind of a contrast in styles, Coach, because you beat a very good Oregon State team in a game in the 60s, and then you turn around and get to 90 against Oregon. Obviously, two excellent wins for your team. And we've talked about before that your guys seem to be able to play at different paces. Was that one of the keys to winning both this past weekend?
You know, it was. We really had two first halves in both games, Oregon State and Oregon, that in my mind is really not the personality of our team. We don't turn the ball over at a very high rate yet in both of those games. We had 9 turnovers at the half against Oregon State, and then 9 or 10 against Oregon, you know. And when you turn the ball over that many times, number one, it's hard to win, but it puts a lot of pressure on not only your offense because you're not shooting it, everybody understands that, but also, Brian, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense because a lot of those turnovers lead to dunks, threes, steals, fouls. So the fact we were able to get through both games, and then we were better in the second halves of both games. Oregon, we still had our fair share of turnovers, but that's the one thing that stands out. I think we had more turnovers than we usually do. So to your point on Oregon State, we did score 41 points in the second half against Oregon State, but yet only 21 in the first half. What was the difference? The turnovers and the pace of play. But you're right, I do think we can be effective fast and sometimes slow, and you have to be able to adapt.
Down the stretch there against Oregon, anybody's ball game, was it your team's defense that got you the win over the offense, even though you scored 90 points?
Well, at the end, when we really needed stops, we got them. I think we held them scoreless, or maybe 4 consecutive trips where they weren't able to score, which is great. You know, the finish of the game is something that I think all of us as coaches and players on a team, you want to be a team knowing that finishes strong, that, you know, in that last segment of the game in basketball, it's that last 4-minute window that you seem to just pull away and make great plays, execute on both ends, and have a sureness about you. And certainly in the Oregon game, in my mind, that's really what happened, both on offense and defense. We finished the game strong.
Hughes is proud to have been serving the local community and delivering outstanding financial performance and value to their members since 1952.
As a performer, my time is valuable, and I count on Hughes Mobile Services to help me run my life.
I'm so glad I made the switch to Hughes.
I love being a Hughes member. They're local and they give back to my community.
Make the switch. Team up with Hughes Federal Credit Union by becoming a member today.
Wildcat Basketball Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Show your Wildcat spirit with a U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
This weekend, the Wildcats head to Berkeley, so one of the new coaches, Wyking Jones, taking over for Quanzo Martin at Cal, although he was on the staff, so there's some familiarity there, but he's got a lot of new faces on his team. What's different about the Bears this season over a year ago?
Well, they're very inexperienced. You know, they have some of their best players are young, and they're very good players, but they're all freshmen and sophomores. I think the 2 big guys they have, one who's a new player, Marcus Lee, but he's in his 5th year, a transfer from Kentucky. But Okora and Marcus Lee are the 2 veterans, but everybody else is just very new to college basketball, and they're also not deep. So, you know, you're playing 6 or 7 players, but they get most of their production from their starting 5. So between the inexperience and their lack of depth, that has hurt them throughout. But they've played teams very tough. They went to Stanford and had an epic comeback on the road and beat Stanford. That's Stanford's only loss right now in our conference. Cal went on the road at San Diego State and won as far back as the Maui Invitational against Wichita State. They really had them down, and at the very end, Wichita State pulled it out. So they're capable. They're an excellent offensive rebounding team. They play with a lot of energy. They play a fast pace, and they use a press and a zone that can turn you over in shot block. They have players on their team who can really block shots. So steals, block shots, offensive rebounds, fast pace, a lot of youthfulness. They're a team that's dangerous, and I would say in particular at home.
Your team's had plenty of experience on the road so far this season. You've been through this many times. Some of your freshmen have now just had one of the 2-game Pac-12 road trips. What goes into it? What are the challenges of playing those conference games when you get on the road and have to go back-to-back like that?
You have to concentrate. You prepare for that first game, and it feels normal because you have usually a little bit more time. Although on this trip we play Cal on Wednesday, not Thursday, but you still, coming off of our Oregon game, you have a day off, you have a couple days to prepare, and usually locked in for that game. But the second that game ends, win or lose, did you play well or not, you're quickly on to the next one. And it's about learning a few things from the game you just played, but it's the details and the concentration. It takes a lot to be as ready as you can be. And it's not a 2.5-hour practice, Brian. It's walkthroughs, it's film, it's concentration sometimes with not expending a lot of energy. And it favors veteran teams like a lot of things do in college basketball. But you have to be ready to go. We did not handle that part of the trip very well when we went to the Utah-Colorado swing.
All right, Cats looking for better success this week on the road. That will be Wednesday night at Cal and Saturday afternoon at Stanford. We'll see you next time on Wildcat Weekly.
Thanks for watching Wildcat Basketball Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org, federally insured by NCUA.